All for me. The flavour of the blackberries is fantastic. Any fruit that's in season as well is perfect for this. And by spicing them up with that little bit of cinnamon, only a small amount of clove, you get this wonderful sort of mulled fruit flavour. It's a dessert that people won't expect at this time of the year, but it's one that people will absolutely love.
Okay, confession time. I'm not a big fan of Christmas pudding myself, however good the recipe. After a huge dinner, I prefer something a little lighter, but just as flavoursome. And I can't think of anything better than this one.
This dish is fabulous, and it's based on a pavlova, but we're going to incorporate a few little winter sort of spices into it as well to make it a little bit more festive. So the first thing we need to do is make our meringue.
First, whisk 6 egg whites until they form soft peaks. And with the machine still running, gradually pour in 300 grams of caster sugar.
Add about a tablespoon of white wine vinegar and some corn flour, about a tablespoon. And then give it a quick mix.
The vinegar and corn flour will give the meringue that soft, chewy centre everyone loves.
And then what we need to do is pipe it out. That requires a little bit of practice. What we're looking for is a Christmas tree, not a twig.
Fill the piping bag, make a small incision in the bottom, and unleash your inner Picasso.
The best advice I can give, really, is start off with a triangle and then gradually increase the size of the triangle and fill it in. And then basically just repeat the process, but you're just doing it slightly wider.
Once you've created the outline of your tree with 3 triangles, pipe the trunk. And then smooth the meringue with a palette knife. Next, pipe a raised edge to hold the fruit filling in place. And finally, add any little flourishes that take your fancy.
And there you have it. Not bad.
Now I'm going to bake my meringue on a really low heat for 1.5 to 2 hours.
Now, while that's in the oven, we can create the topping for our Christmas Tree Pavlova. And carrying on with the Christmas theme, first of all, you need to make a stock syrup. So we get a little bit of water in here and roughly equal quantities of sugar and water. So what you need to do now is boil this up with your Christmas spices, things like cinnamon, powdered ginger, and a little bit of powdered clove.
You have to boil the sugar, water and spices for roughly 5 minutes to let the syrup thicken.
I love this dish. What you end up with is your whole kitchen smelling of sort of mulled wine. It's got that great combination of spices. Because of that, I'm going to add some orange and lemon zest. But rather than the zest, just take the whole lot and peel it.
Now for the main fruit, in this case, fresh blackberries, and lots of them.
Now, as soon as the berries are mixed together, we switch the heat off. We're not creating a jam, we're just creating a glaze for our blackberries. And you can see that the orange zest, nicely caramelized as well, smells delicious. And if we leave that now for about the same amount of time as our meringue takes to cook, it'll be absolutely perfect.
When both the meringue and fruit have cooled, whip some double cream along with some vanilla bean paste. And for the blackcurrant hit, 1 or 3 glugs of creme de cassis.
I love this stuff, especially with champagne. It's just delicious.
Now we just have to assemble our tree.
I always have this opinion in food, less is more, but particularly around this time of the year, it's all about indulgence, I think.
And don't try to measure the quantity of topping either. You want a really thick layer of sweet and glossy blackberries.
All for me. The flavour of the blackberries is fantastic. Any fruit that's in season as well is perfect for this. And by spicing them up with that little bit of cinnamon, only a small amount of clove, you get this wonderful sort of mulled fruit flavour. It's a dessert that people won't expect at this time of the year, but it's one that people will absolutely love.
With its chewy meringue, luxurious cream and spice berry topping, this is one dish that'll definitely light up the season. Most Brits can't imagine Christmas without a tree, and they wouldn't settle for anything less than a classic roast turkey on the big day either. The Austrians also love their seasonal traditions, but many of them enjoy a very different meal during the holidays, as our festive food reporter Annie Gray has been finding out.
The market stalls here in Innsbruck are jammed with seasonal goodies, but to get a real taste of the classic Austrian Christmas, I headed far beyond the fairy lights of the city. My destination, a remote southern corner of the country. My mission, to track down a man who's got the perfect recipe for a traditional Christmas nosh-up. 12 years ago, Peter Paffrath was a successful businessman in Vienna, but he gave it all up for a simpler life in the country with his wife and 3 children. He now farms a staple ingredient of a classic Austrian festive dinner: carp. I offered to help him catch some. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Annie.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Put your waders on. We
Okay.
go fishing.
This isn't quite what I expected. I kind of thought fishing rod, maybe a picnic, kind of bucolic. Not waders and a pond. Better get them on. Okay? I've got all the gear, but I'm still none the wiser. Thankfully, Peter knows what to do. He breeds carp in several ponds like this one. Fishing them out with nets is no easy task, so drastic measures are called for. We're draining the lake so we can get the carp out more easily. A bit like draining a bath. You pull the plug, the water comes out, and all the carp are pushed towards the plug hole. And then we're fishing them out with the nets. This is the classic way to catch your Christmas dinner. All the people you see helping come along for the day for free to help out in return for their Christmas carp. Now, I've never passed up an offer of free food before, and a muddy pond's not going to put me off. Quite an exciting way to get your Christmas dinner. Not quite. Even though they've been cornered and put into a big net, it's still really tricky to catch one. They're slippery little devils. It's hard work. But I'm not going to let a fish beat me. Okay. One. Yeah. And this one's all mine. Wow. Quite a workout. And you've been doing, well, people have been doing it like this 500 years. Wow, respect. We don't really think of carp as a Christmas dish in the UK, but this in Austria is an absolute Christmas classic. So what I'm doing now really is about as Christmassy as you can get.